Okay, I think we're live, guys. This is going to be so much fun. I just, those of you who are on this, this was like an impromptu thing. So, you didn't even know about it. I didn't know it was going to actually be live. It's not supposed to be live. This is kind of a private thing where I'm just talking to Ridgely. But you guys are going to get to meet him in just a second. And I got to tell you, man, Ridgely is a really super cool guy. He's really chill. He's always happy. I mean, I love being around this guy, and I've been at a couple of events with him. So you're going to meet him in just a second. He's a best-selling author. It's just he has such a great positive attitude. He's written 17 books. Get this, 17 books, all about the human condition, emotional intelligence, a bunch of success principles that all you guys can really use, which is pretty darn cool. And I see a couple of you guys are jumping in right now. Hey, Mito, what's going on, man? You're in Connecticut. Good to see you. Oh, I forgot to ask you if you guys could hear me. That's so silly, right? Make sure you can hear me because like I said, this is kind of an impromptu thing. I was going to record this and let some other people see it, but you guys actually snuck in here and you're actually going to get to actually meet Ridgely in just a second, which is really cool. Now, this dude, get this, guys. He's generated in excess of $50 million in sales. Hey, Mita. Yeah. So, hey, the rest of you guys, go ahead and post something in the comment there. Make sure you can hear me. I would really appreciate that. But what he's going to talk about is something all you guys need to know. I mean, he calls it JV hacking, but basically it's how to sell your products out there in the market and get other people to help you sell those products. So it's going to be super cool. And I want to check and see if he's gotten in there yet. Ridgely, have you gotten online? Hey, Tammy, what's going on? Tammy from Ohio just jumped in. She just met me on the airplane.
I am here.
San Diego. Look at that. Yes, I remember you, Tammy. You're the exercise.
Nice.
Lady. Yes. Very cool. Well, Tammy, you're going to meet one of the people that I was with in Florida. So, Ridgely, you're there. You said you can hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, brother. Sounds great.
Awesome. Now, you're up in, Los Angeles right now, right?
I'm in LA and Marina Del Rey right now, looking at the Marina Canal. It's beautiful, great day, and it's a lot better than the 11 degrees in Kansas City that my brother was enjoying that he told me about.
Oh my gosh, they said that 2/3 of the United States is in freezing conditions. 2/3, and we're like, I'm in San Diego. Yeah, it's like 70s here in San Diego. It's really cool. Hey, can I ask you a couple questions, Ridgely?
Sure, of course.
First off, I mean, tell me about this JV hacking thing. How did this whole thing come about, first off?
Well, so my partner Glen and I have been doing launches for a really long time, and he's been super successful with launches, as have I. And we decided we'd write a book about the whole thing. We decided we'd write a book about how to do joint ventures, how to do joint venture launches, how to do affiliate marketing, so that we could really help the industry out, help other entrepreneurs, and also, as you know, the rising tide raises all ships. So the more successful entrepreneurs that are out there, the more successful entrepreneurs we can partner with, and everybody wins. So we walked into our office and we're talking to our head programmer, who's a genius. And we're telling him about the idea. And he says, this sounds a lot like software to me. I said, what do you mean? So, well, what if all this were automated for people? That would be really cool. And so you could do that? And he said, yeah, I think so. And that was the genesis of what has now been a 2.5-year journey that I'm very much looking forward to sharing with all of you amazing people.
Well, why don't we do this? I'll turn it over to you. And you have like a little screen presentation of how this is all done, right?
Yes, sir. I can do that.
All right.
Turn that screen share on.
Yeah, do that, and I'll make sure everybody can see it.
Hold on. There we go. Boink. Let's make sure. How about that? Is that working?
I think, I can see the screen there. If you guys can see the screen, just put something in the comment section and make sure you guys can see it, but it looks like you can. I can see it. Tammy, put something in there, or Mita, if you can see that screen, if you don't mind doing that for me, please. And there's a little bit of a lag, Ridgely, so, when we talk, just so you know, there is a little bit of a lag before they're going to be able to hear you. Mita says he can see it, so that's cool. All right, and got a couple more people trickling in right now. Tammy says yes, she can see it too, so that's very cool. Eric's in there. He says he can see it. Tom says he can see it. Okay, so yes, it can be seen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over. Guys, you're going to love this. You're going to love me for this. Not that you don't already. I'm sure you do. but you're going to love me because I'm sharing some really cool stuff. So I'm going to turn it over to Ridgely. And Ridgely, one thing I do want you to cover, though, I mean, what is the hardest thing about doing these JVs and JV launches? What do you think is the hardest thing? And that's a joint venture, guys.
Yeah, the hardest thing to me is being willing to do the work. In other words, if you do the right things and you do it the right amount of times, there is no question that you can make an absolute fortune without spending a dime of your own money. The hardest thing is to understand that this is not magic, and it's like anything else. The only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. And unless you plan on living off the dictionary, I would suggest that we're going to talk about how to do the right things to really make a fortune online.
All right, it's all yours, Ridgely. So go right ahead, buddy.
All right, so let's talk about JV hacking, insider secrets to making a fortune online through joint venture relationships. That's my partner, Glen, and myself, and the book that we wrote on this topic. This is perhaps the most important book I've written so far of the 17 that JR mentioned, certainly when it comes to this. And we're going to jump right into the content. And JR, please feel free to add anything you want. Interrupt me anytime. If something's not clear, you can just stop me and say, hey, I'm not sure we understood that. Hit us up again. I do want to lay some foundation, though, for you. I want to make sure that everybody understands exactly where we're coming from. So first of all, what is a joint venture? A joint venture is simply when two or more business entities come together to achieve a common goal or purpose. In our industry, that generally means to grow your currency or your list, or to make more sales of your product or service. And your currency is how many eyeballs can you put on a product? How many people can you send to an offer? That is your currency, and it can be in the form of Instagram followers, Facebook followers, a big, huge podcast audience, and of course, emails, perhaps the most successful of all. All of us have currency, and we're going to talk more about that as we go along. So just again, to lay the foundation, what is a joint venture or affiliate partner? You know, this photo with the eyeballs, man, I don't know. I think I got to replace this photo. It looks just a little strange. But anyway, I hope everybody's okay with that. A JV or affiliate partner is a person or entity who is willing to promote your product in exchange for currency in the form of money, traffic exchange, social capital, or a favor. A JV partner brings more eyeballs and potential customers to your products so that they can be sold and make both parties a good amount of money. That's the idea. So when you think of a JV, you can think of it as doing a grand opening to your business where you offer your product or service to a bigger group of people at the same time. You're the manufacturer, you're the creator of the product, you're the person who put it together, and your joint venture partners are the retailers, the people who are going to go put your product in front of people who may have an interest in that product. Hope that's really foundational and cool for everybody. Now, there's a theory out there that says the following. The money is in your list. And of course, that's true. If you take care of people, if you communicate with people like JR does, for instance, and then you bring them something of value, many of the people on your list are going to say, wow, I want that. That sounds great. I definitely feel that that could be something good for my life and for my business. I'm going to buy it. But here's what Glen, my partner, says. The real money is in other people's lists, and we love lists. Let's just do the math on this to bring this home a little bit. If you have a list of 10,000 emails and it converts at 2% into sales of $100 each, then 10,000 times 2% times $100 is $20,000. And obviously $20,000 is not anything to sneeze at. That's important. But let's just imagine you have a bunch of partners, and now you have 50 lists of 10,000 emails converting at exactly the same rate, 100,000 emails, and now you're making $1 million off of the exact same product. Now, let's just say 50 lists is too many. What if you had 10? What if you had 10 so that instead of making $20,000, you made $200,000? I think we can all agree that the math is very compelling. And this guy, Jeff Walker, the product launch formula creator, done well over $1 billion in product launches. But what I love is he said the following. I get most excited about all of the, quote, regular folks, unquote, that I've helped quit their jobs and grow serious businesses. If that's you, then you really want to pay attention to this presentation, because I have something very, very compelling to share with you to help you be one of those regular folks that grows a serious business and gives you the freedom to quit your job if you want to. So given that you can go from the $20,000 to $1 million or anything in between, or maybe even a lot more, ask yourself, would you think it's a good idea to do some JV business? I would say that pretty much, yeah, most everybody does. So then why doesn't everybody do JVs? Well, let me just frame the rest of this presentation for you. I got this thing and I'm going to show it to you. And here's the problem with it. A lot of people won't do what they need to do because it's a little complicated. It's not a lot complicated, but there is a little bit of effort involved. Everybody wants to make money doing nothing. And if you're willing to do just a little bit of effort, you can clean up and get all the money. I'm going to show you everything here, and it might seem a tad intimidating to you, but would you promise me that if I lay it out crystal clear, that you'd commit to working a little harder than everybody else so that you can make way more money than anyone else? Are we okay with that? I really hope the answer is yes. The reason that most people don't do joint ventures is because it's complicated, challenging, and most people don't know how. Well, let me tell you something. If you're the tallest person by an inch over everyone else, you're the tallest person, right? If everybody else is blind and you have one eye, you rule. It'll be amazing. You just have to be slightly better than everybody else. And here's what slightly better than everybody else means. It means the difference between JV launches and JV promotions that flop and JV launches or promotions that do millions of dollars. How do you do slightly better? Let me tell you. In this day and age where everybody's looking for the easy way, the easy promise, the simple stuff where you don't have to do any work, the real edge is in doing the right kind of work, the right way, and it's dirty. And if you do JVs the right way, and there is some work, there is no better way to make money online than joint ventures. But wait a second. I want to take you into the fundamentals and walk through fundamentals of joint ventures that will really give you a humongous edge over everybody in the market. So first off, we have to learn the affiliate alphabet, the joint venture alphabet, your A's, B's, C's, and D's. And before I even get started, there is no person, no human being that's better than any others. Whether you're an A, B, C, or a D, it simply means how much longer you've been at the game and what you've learned in the process. So we're going to start with the D's. The D's are people that are just getting going. Maybe they don't even have a product yet, and that's totally fine. Even if you don't have, you're learning because you do have currency. You have some emails. You have a social media presence in all likelihood. You have some followers in somewhere, whether that's Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever. So you do have something to offer others, but you don't know a lot yet. You're just getting going. Let's suppose you're a C. What's a C? A C is someone who has a little bit more experience. They're beginning to build a list. They're beginning to build their currency. They probably have a product by now. They've made a few tests creating business for themselves. Then we go to the B's. The B's are people that now know what they're doing. They have a substantial list, a sizable list. They have products that are working. They have funnels that are working. They have offers that are working. But they're not at the absolute highest level, which are the A's. The A's are the people who know everything I'm about to share with you. By the way, I hope you get that. That means that you can also be an A when you learn all of this stuff. They have big lists. They have offers that convert. They know what they're doing, and they have been around for a while. So here's how the alphabet works. If you're a D, obviously you can communicate with other Ds. You can communicate with a few C's. But in reality, you don't know enough, nor have a lot of currency that gives you a great way to communicate with the B's or the A's. In fact, you might feel weird. You might come across looking badly. You might feel funny about it yourself, which is why it's just not that great of an idea. If you're a C, you can obviously communicate with D's, you can communicate with other C's, and you can communicate with Bs. We don't have enough muscle and currency to communicate with the As yet. And again, I really want to stress, this is not about being a good person. It's just about how much experience in the JV game. And the whole point is, this is all about relationships. I have JV partners that we've been sending each other money a decade. So when you take the long-term approach and you pay attention, you want to know, I love the expression, stay in your lane. That applies here. If you're a D, you want to get to C as quickly as possible. When you're a C, you want to become a B as quickly as possible, and so on. But the way to do that is to move yourself up the chain properly and correctly, learning more as you go along, respecting the process, respecting others, and understanding that the joint venture game is a long-term game. You can be in this for decades to come, making money with great partners, having fun with your partners, enjoying them if you understand the alphabet. All right, moving on. Here's a kind of a weird saying, and I know it may hit you kind of funny. Nobody cares about your product. So what do we mean by that? Do we mean that nobody really cares about your product? Well, from a consumer perspective, absolutely not. Of course, everybody cares about your product. They care that your product is going to do what it says. They assume that it will deliver on the promise that you make about that product. When we're talking about nobody cares about your product, we're talking about in a joint venture relationship. The joint venture partners assume that the product is great, that it does what it's supposed to do, that they don't have to care about the product. What they care about is your ability to market the product. They care about your marketing chops. They care about how well do you present the product to their audience so that their audience can make the decision to purchase that product and benefit from that product. That's what we mean by nobody cares about your product. So when you're talking to a JV partner, you're not going to be touting how great your product is, how it's revolutionary. Nobody's ever seen this before, because every JV partner has tons and tons of products that they can produce, they can promote. What you want to talk about is how your product converts, how much time you spend testing your offer, how your offer is doing very well, how partners are making money with your product. That's what we mean by nobody cares about your product. And here's my favorite. Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone. The phone is the most powerful tool that you have as a joint venture marketer or as an affiliate marketer. Now, so here's something hilarious. So how many of us have had this experience? Somebody calls you and they haven't texted first. And you look at the number coming through and you see who it is and you say, oh my gosh, that's so rude. This person is just calling me on my phone. Really? Isn't that what the phone was designed for? Wasn't the phone made to call people? Why do we hide behind our text messages, hide behind our emails, and not call people? If you absolutely are terrified of the phone, being a joint venture marketer is probably not your best game. You might want to look somewhere else. But if you want to make a fortune, you got to pick up the phone. So let me ask you a question, serious about this. If you have to call someone 3, 4, or even 5 times, as opposed to only one, but that means an extra $10,000 in your pocket, would that be okay with you? The reason why most people don't do it is because they don't realize that each phone call is worth $2,000. They just think about how hard it is. If you had to coordinate with your JVs here and there and deal with this or that to make $10,000 or $20,000 more, would you do it? Most people don't, and that's why they stay broke. You, on the other hand, if you do this, can be super successful, and that's what I want for you, and that's why I want to share with you a technique to literally triple the amount of return phone calls you will get if you do this one thing. Here's how it works. Here's how you increase your callbacks by up to 300%. And I'm telling you right now, this tip alone is worth every minute you spend on this entire presentation learning about joint venture marketing and JV hacking. Here's how you do this. You call someone first. And of course, you don't want to lose your posture. So what you're going to say is something along the lines of, hey, John, in between meetings, just had a minute, wanted to reach out to you because I've got something really great to talk to you about. We might be able to do some big things together. Tell you what, I'll follow up with a text. Look forward to talking to you in the next couple of days. And then you follow that message up by leaving somebody a text. Everybody looks at their texts and everybody listens to their voicemail messages. This technique will triple. It will increase your callbacks by 300%. That's 3 times as much as you're getting them right now. And if you think of the value of a phone call, this is gold, everybody. It is worth a fortune to follow this, hold your posture, leave a message first, follow it up by a text. Incredibly effective to be a great joint venture marketer. All right, now let's talk about something that to me is really, really crucial in terms of being abundant and understanding relationships. When you go to an event and you show up, you make the effort to show up to an event, you spend the money, take the time away from your family, away from whatever else you do, please don't be cheap. At dinners, at the bar, buy drinks, be abundant, be that person that people go, wow, I love that guy. He's just so generous. He's always thinking of others. Don't do this. How many of us have seen this before? Somebody walks up to the bar. They don't look at anybody from side to side, even though they're trying to do business and create joint venture relationships with those people. And they just order a drink straight from the bartender. And then after that, they start looking around. Hey, who can I connect with? Or even worse, this is the one that is just, oh my gosh, please don't do this. Somehow at events, people go to dinners together and they turn into fairly large dinners, 10, 15 people. And somebody organizes the dinner. Somehow you get yourself invited or somebody gets invited and they go to that dinner and the organizer says, okay, everybody, we're just going to split the bill at the end. Is that cool? Now, if you had a real financial issue, this would be the only time to bring that up beforehand. Say, hey, sorry, got an issue here. Just getting going. Would you mind if I just pick up my own check? Everybody's going to say, sure, man, no worries. But until the end, and then the bill shows up and the waiter starts distributing it. And you're the person who says, wait a second, excuse me, I only had a salad. Or excuse me, I didn't drink any alcohol. Please don't do that. Oh my gosh, what message are you sending? By the way, there's nothing ethically wrong with what you're doing. That financially, I get it. But the message that you're sending, that I am not an abundant person. I am not one of those people who wants to be abundant in my thinking, abundant in my sharing. You're sending the message that says, if I'm your affiliate partner and you have to choose between money or me, you're going to choose money. And you don't want to be that person. It could cost you so much. Think about a relationship that could generate you per year. What's that worth in a decade? Please don't be that person. Don't be cheap. Build it into your budget. Do what you have to do to show up and be abundant. And here's my favorite online saying. In God we trust. All others bring data. What do we mean by this? Test your offer. Test your product sale. Make sure that your offer converts so that when your partners send their traffic to you, it does well by them, which means it does well by you, and everyone benefits. I don't know if this has happened to you guys or not. Have you ever had anybody not be honest about the test results? Oh my gosh, it's just such a bad idea. Don't ruin a relationship before it's been started. If you haven't tested your offer, be honest, be upfront, make a different kind of agreement with somebody, propose a different deal, do a swap of clicks or whatever, so that you are the good guy that takes care of your partners. So super critical. There are 60 tasks when planning a launch, which we call the master calendar, that involve what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. And by the way, we're talking about a launch here, but this applies to any promotion, whether it's a summit, an ongoing evergreen offer that you have, a big promotion that you're doing on a regular basis or once in a while. It doesn't matter. We're going to talk about doing a big launch so that we cover the whole thing If it's smaller, imagine that there might be 30 critical tasks or 40 critical tasks. And think about, seriously for a second, if it took you 2 hours to take care of your JVs and you knew you were going to make an extra 10 grand by doing that, would you do that? I sure would. What if it took you 3 or 4 hours to handle a bunch of the details in a launch, but that was the difference between making $100 or $100,000? Would you do that? Basically, what I'm saying is that if by working hard for a limited time, you could crush everyone else in the business and make a ton of money, would you do it? And that's what we're talking about here, planning the critical tasks in a launch. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them. That would take a little bit too long. I'm just going to go through a few by way of example so you can get a solid sense of what a launch looks like. So, your JV sign-up page. You've got to set up a JV sign-up page. And by the way, I put 12 months out here, and that's just an ideal situation. It could be 12 weeks out. It could be 10 weeks out. If you've got something coming up, you have to have a place where your affiliates can sign up in order to become your joint venture partner. Now, what's going to be on that page? Are you going to talk about your product? No. You're going to talk a tiny bit about your product. You're going to talk about your ability to market your product to your affiliates' tribes, to the people that are going to come to the product through your affiliates. That's what you're going to talk about. You're going to talk about your marketing chops, what you're doing, how well your offer's converting, how much money others are making with it. That's what you're going to talk about because that's what your affiliates care about. As you get a little bit closer, now you're maybe 6 or 12 months or 6 or 12 weeks out. You're going to send out personal save the date emails. Now, what does that mean? That means you're going to send out an email that says, hey, Tony, are you available for a launch at the first part of April of next year? If Tony responds and says, yeah, I'm free then, what did you just get? What you just got was a micro commitment, a tiny commitment from Tony. Does that mean that Tony's automatically going to mail for you? No, it's the beginning of a commitment that you got from Tony that you're going to continue to follow up with. So a few months later or a few weeks later, you're going to reconfirm that commitment. You're going to do it in the same email thread, whether or not Tony even got back to you on the first one. And in this case, you're going to ask them, you're going to ask your affiliate partners for full support. So what's that mean? Full support means that they're going to mail the content that you send them to mail in the sequence that you send them that content to mail in. So if there's 2 pieces of mail, first this one, then that one, you're going to ask them to mail those 2 pieces. If there's 3 pieces of content, you're going to ask them to send out the 3 pieces in the sequence that you have tested. Remember, they have not tested your offer. Only you have tested the offer. So only you know what converts the best. You're the only person qualified to tell them what sequence to use to get the best possible results. That's what full support is, and you're going to ask them for full support. 12 weeks out, you're going to begin working on your sales copy, your swipe files, your emails, social media posts, PS messages, SMS messages, text messages, and so on. So you're going to check deliverability on your email copy. You can use Send Forensics as a great product, and they actually have a free version. I think it gives you like five different times a month. You can use it for free, or you can get the pro version. It's not very expensive, and it'll help you with deliverability. Imagine that you get a 10% better deliverability. That's 10% more emails that reach customers, potential customers, to help promote your product. That's huge. So before we go on, I know this may sound like a lot of work, but I just want to make a comment here. I mean, don't you find it kind of ironic that people who do JV launches promise you this no work needed money, right? But when you look at what they're doing, they're not even doing that at all. They're teaching something different than they're doing. They're teaching some push button riches with no effort. I'm going right in the face of all of those people, and I'm going to ask you to do the same. Some real work to make real money. How's that sound to you?
Hey,
are we good with that?
Hey, Ridge.
I hope so. Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's how you can tell when somebody's telling you the truth, is when they tell you that you got to work hard. Because I don't know, and you just met a bunch of people in Florida. I don't know anybody there that was like super successful that said, I only work 4 hours a week. I just hung out at Starbucks.
right? Exactly. It's crazy. And people think that that's the reality. So JR, I mean, think if you could just work hard for a little bit to make a whole big bunch of money, wouldn't most people do that?
Yeah, and
And they
that's
just
exactly
don't.
how this is. Yeah, it's set up right because you're putting all the effort in up front, and then later on you get the rewards. Now that makes sense. Then you can take some time off, right?
That's right. That's when you go down to the beach and you start drinking Mai Tais or whatever you like to do, or go sailing or go out on the water. But please, there's a bit of a gap between A, I need to work hard, and B, I get to be on the beach drinking Mai Tais. So let's just make the commitment that if we were willing to work hard for a little bit to eventually make a lot and then be able to enjoy that lifestyle, that we would all do that. And let me share a little bit more about what that looks like. So you're getting a little closer. 10 weeks out, you're going to check your server capacity. You're going to sort out your merchant processing. I just want to share 2 stories on this because it is so critical. I was doing a launch for a big marketer, written a lot of books, a famous best-selling author. And I told his team that we're using Drupal, which is an antiquated software. It really is not very good. We could melt down the server. Do you have the capacity? Over and over, I asked them. Yes. Young guy, I got this. Don't worry about it. You're worried, way too worried. We started sending traffic. We had 100 partners mailing, and within 45 minutes, we melted the server capacity. None of the traffic could get through. Everybody was upset. Huge buildup to the day. And even though it wasn't necessarily my fault, certainly my client wasn't happy at all. It was horrible. I remember back in the day, people thought it was like a badge of courage to be able to send so much traffic that you melted a server. No, it's not. It's just bad. It's just flat out horrible to not be able to get people to see a great product that could help them with their life or their business. Merchant processing, just as bad. I remember I was dealing with a very big marketer out of Dallas, Texas, who had an economic newsletter and had a huge list of accredited investors. Went to his bank, talked to the vice president, explained the power of a launch, did all of these things. But the one thing I didn't do is get a backup merchant processor. Entirely my fault. We should have had a backup. Started sending traffic. The automatic fraud controls kicked in. We were sending tens of thousands of dollars per hour and shut in 3 hours. I have no idea how much money we lost. We did just under $1 million on that launch, but it was horrible. We could have done so much more if we just paid attention and sorted out the merchant processing. And at 8 weeks out, we're going to start our internal testing. We're going to make sure our offers are converted on an internal test. Maybe we're going to ask a partner to send us some traffic that we'll then swap back with them later to test it a little bit more to make sure that we do right by people. At the 4-week mark, we're going to start moving to twice-a-week communications, emails, video blasts. I like to do one of each, 1 email a week, 1 video a week, continuing to gather micro commitments, calling people, Skyping, IMing, texting, emailing, building the buzz toward your launch. Certainly at the 2-week mark, we're going to reach out to every one of our top partners, and we're going to send out the first piece of swipe copy only to make sure they mail that on the first official day of the launch. They don't send the second piece first. They don't send the third piece first. They do things in the right sequence. At the 1-week mark, we're going to start communicating on a daily basis, organizing the countdown, revving our people up. The first day is everything, building to that first day of your launch or your promotion, whatever that is, 12:01 a.m., and you are going to send out the traffic. And then immediately what happens? People start receiving multiple versions of your offer. And they go, wow, this must be an amazing product. Look at how many times it's showing up. Other affiliates say, oh my gosh, look at this. This must be incredible. I better not miss out. And you'll have your biggest affiliate sign up day be the first day of your launch. Super awesome. During the launch week, you're communicating on a daily basis. You're motivating people to send all of your content pieces. You're talking about the sales page going live. You're posting your leaderboard of who's making the most sales. And you're playing on prizes and egos. And here's a super cool tip. When your leaderboard, if you say, all right, J.R. Fisher at the absolute top of the leaderboard, really crushing it out there. But you know, J.R., guess what? Tony is right behind you, and I heard they're going to do a monster promotion. And oh, by the way, Greg is in the number 3 slot, and he's getting ready to do a big push as well. You guys better rev it up. Say people's names. People love to hear their name on the leaderboard. Of course, it rewards them and acknowledges them for their efforts, but it also is a good ego boost for everybody. So say their names. Really cool tip for you. And of course, right after the launch is done, you're going to declare the winners, send out the prizes right away, and set up your reciprocals that you agreed to. When somebody mailed for you, you agreed that you were after that going to mail for them. At the end of the day, it's all about doing what you say you're going to do, delivering on your promises, paying the commissions and the prizes on time, organizing the reciprocal mailings, etc. You ever work with somebody who didn't follow up on your promises? How'd that make you feel? Yucky, right? For sure, it's happened to all of us, and it feels terrible. And when you're in the relationships business, it is absolutely not what you do, what you say. Now, I know there may be a lot of people thinking, oh my gosh, this is like kind of overwhelming to get everything done like that. But what if there was a totally automated system that did all of this for you? And that's what I want to show you right now. The JV hacking blueprint, and in fact, the JV hacking software. I'm going to play a little video. JR, please let me know that this is actually playing and you can hear it.
I see it playing, but I don't hear anything.
Yeah, is it playing? We're good?
Yeah, no, I see it, but it's not, there's no sound.
Oh, really? Oh, that's kind of weird. That's a webinar jam thing. Okay, then I'm going to talk you through it if there's no sound. Here we go.
Okay,
so
sure.
It's called JV hacking. And here's what we want to talk about. How does the software work? What can the software do for you? First, you select the date of your launch. You add the description. You select all the team members you want to notify for each task. That's all. Then you press go, and the software does the rest. Your calendar will automatically populate with all the 60 critical tasks. The software is going to tell you, like, save the dates, work on your copy, source second-tier JV referrals, do some testing, check your merchant capabilities, send your swipe files, and so much more. That's what the software does. If it's time to send the email, look at some resources. We'll give you some examples. All you have to do is copy, paste, tweak, and send you the emails. It's all done for you. You want to see a video example? Got those too. You want to see text messages? We got it. Copy, paste, and send. You want to know why we do stuff? Click to the timestamp, and we'll explain exactly why we're doing it and the psychology behind it. Every task is customizable. You can change it. You can make the launch shorter. You can take some tasks out. You can add some tasks. You can customize the launch to your liking and then save it. And you literally institutionalize all of your knowledge. You can move the launch tasks around. You can leave it as is. You can have the launch run automatically. There you go. So there are 4 different modules here. Give you all the do's and don'ts, what to do, why to do it, and the psychology behind why you do what you do. They complement the software perfectly, and at any point you can click on the tutorial for a step-by-step guide. It's amazing. The software tells you exactly what to do, when to do it, what to do it with, and examples of all of the things that you need to make this successful. It's like Glen and I looking over your shoulder and coach through an entire launch. And oh, by the way, the software doesn't forget anything. Best of all, the software holds everybody accountable. Amazing. So if you need a refresher, you can just click on the Welcome and Overview button and find out how to do a super successful launch. So happy launching. That is the software. And it works 24 hours a day. It works 7 days a week. It never calls in sick. It doesn't make mistakes. Ask yourself the question, how many people can you replace or not even need if you had that software? And earlier, we agreed that if you had to work a little harder but could make way more money, that you would do it. You would take care of your joint venture partners so that they made you those buckets of money. With this software, you take care of all of your joint venture partners without all of the hard work. Is that awesome or what? So let me tell you about the whole package. First of all, you have the course. That's the multi-module video-based course with over 10 years of launch strategy, how Glenn and I made over 25 million in joint venture launches. We've done over 50 million in online marketing, but 25 million in joint venture launches alone. That's an info product that tells you exactly what we did, how the strategy works, the whole thing. It's a value of $19.97. Then you add in the software itself that integrates into your calendar, whether that's Google, whether that's Outlook, whether that's iCloud. It tells everybody what to do, how to do, and when to do it, and it holds everyone accountable. Now, this is critical. You look at your calendar, and if tasks are not accomplished, they have red lines through them. You can see who was supposed to do that particular task, even if it was you. You can then click on that task and get a tutorial about exactly what had to happen in that moment. See from the video course exactly why to do things and how to do those things. Total accountability. Think back for a second when you were doing a promotion of some kind and somebody forgot to do something critical. What happened? How much did that cost you? What if that never, ever happened again? Total accountability is amazing. Value of that is $97 a month or $9.97 a year. Total value so far up at $2,994. Add in the resources. That's 10 years of content built into templates so that all you have to do is fill in the blanks and send. $500 value, bringing our total value up to $34.94. As JR mentioned earlier, I was Jeff Walker's #1 product launch manager, and people would hire me to do launches for them. Here's me working on a launch with Jeff on Nick Halleck's launch, the Thrillionaires. Nick's a great guy. It was an amazing launch. Really, really enjoyed that. And when people hired me, that cost $25,000 non-refundable plus 15% of sales. And I would say to my clients, look, if you don't think that we're going to make so much more than that by understanding launch techniques, don't hire me. And yet they did all the time. So here's something amazing. We decided to create the JV Hacking Mastermind, Glenn and I, launching in 2020. The JV Hacking Mastermind is where you can get on the phone with me and Glenn on a monthly basis and ask anything you want about any aspect of launches, whether that's joint venture management, affiliate management, how to connect with your JV partners, or the launch itself, the launch plans, the launch stories, anything. In 2020, we're going to charge $1,000 a month, which is a steal for what we know and what we can do for you. So 6 months of those calls would be a $6,000 value, bringing our total up to $94.94. By the way, only 50 people are going to participate in the JV Hacking Mastermind pilot program. Why is that? Because as we taught earlier, test is critical for everything. So we are testing out the JV Hacking Mastermind through a pilot program, and if you decide to participate in the pilot program, it will be absolutely free for you. I've done a few webinars already, and I want to share with you in complete transparency, there are 7 spots left at last check. 7 spots left. So if you want to be one of the 50 people that participate in the JV Hacking Mastermind program, be sure to register right away. And total, including the mastermind, $94.94. On this presentation, as JR asked me to do, we have something very special for you guys. It's $497 for the year, including the $6,000 launch mastermind. That, by the way, is a 94.8% discount. Okay, let me ask you a question though. If you get the powers of joint ventures, the power of affiliate marketing, would you want to do this only for a year? Or would you, like me and Glenn, want to be doing this year after year after year? Therefore, we're going to make it just a little bit crazier. For $797, you get the entire JV Hacking Blueprint, the course, the resources, the software, and the $6,000 mastermind for 11 years. That's right, 11 years. Why do we pick 11? Because that's how long we've been doing joint ventures. So Glenn and I put this out there. We said, you know what? We're just going to give it away for 11 years so that you pay $797 one time, a 94.5% discount. You never pay another cent, and you'll have access to the program for 11 years. You can even make some money with us. You can get the product and become our affiliate. So how do you go about doing that? Go to jvhacking.com/JR. Again, 7 spots are left. Please, please, please take action right away if this makes sense to you. Go to jvhacking.com/JR and decide to make the choice to join the JV Hacking Mastermind. To that end, our next call, the first official call of the pilot program, is this coming Monday, November 18th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be talking about how to kick off the JV process, how to set up your JV sign-up page, etc. This mastermind is worth a fortune. I doubt we will ever do a pilot program again. So if you want to be a part of the joint venture mastermind pilot program, register at jvhacking.com/JR right away so that you can grab one of those last 7 remaining spots. It's going to be incredible. And I just want to point something out. Many of you probably have drawn the connection already, but if you haven't, do you get that one single relationship from the JV Hacking Mastermind pays for the $797 of 11 years of access to everything I just talked about 100 times over? No kidding. One single relationship. And you'll be hanging out with 50 super cool people, super committed people, and maybe some more that will begin paying for their access in 2020. One single relationship can make you an absolute fortune. One of the questions I want to answer before we end up here, because I want to make sure that we end on time and honor that everybody's time is valuable, is the question that I get a lot, which is, if I don't have a product yet, is this for me? Is the JV Hacking Blueprint for me, even if I don't have a product? Are you kidding me? If I had known everything that is in the JV Hacking Blueprint, what JVs are all about, how to make it work, how to run launches, etc., when I started out, how much further along would I be today? Of course it's for you. Doesn't matter whether you're a brand new person that doesn't even have a product yet. To learn this information is going to make you a fortune when you do. So it doesn't matter if you're a brand new person, if you're an intermediate person, if you're an advanced person who just wants to make sure that the accountability is in place for your JV partners. Go to jvhacking.com/JR, register right away so you can also be a part of the pilot program. I've also gotten the question from advanced marketers, can I send someone to the mastermind? Of course. Send your marketing people, send your team members. It doesn't matter. Get yourself registered at jvhacking.com/JR as soon as you can. Grab one of the last spots and you will be a part of the pilot program. JR, any questions from you? Anything you want to review before we wrap this up and invite your fabulous people to join the mastermind?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize you had so few spots left, guys. So, you know, if this is, I know it's of use to you, but, you know, if this is something you want to do, you probably should go ahead and do it, because what I had initially planned is to just kind of interview Ridgely about this and then post this later on, but it looks like all those spots could be gone. So, you know, you're going to want to jump on this. Now, let me ask you something, Ridgely, because I know a lot of people are thinking probably the same thing, but if I don't have a product, could I promote somebody else's product by using the software, like something from ClickBank or something?
All day long. Of course, even if you don't have a product, you still want to know how to communicate with other JV partners, how to get the most out of that relationship, how to properly use your currency, and use the software to manage that process. So the answer is 100% yes. You absolutely can take tremendous advantage of it, even if you don't have a product. And eventually you'll probably, through going through the process, figure out what product you do want to make so that you can have a product to offer your other JV partners that you're already making money with. So the answer is 100% for sure.
You guys, let me tell you how easy this is, seriously. You can go to ClickBank and you can search the offers on ClickBank, and I've got some videos on my YouTube channel you can look at on that. And once you've done that, you can find the offers that are already converting, and they already have the emails for you. They already have the sales page. They have all that. And you could use this software to promote 1, 5, 10, 100 different products, even if you didn't have one yourself. Now, if you got one yourself, sure, that works, but don't let that stop you. And somebody else asked, they live in Australia, Western Australia, that's on this call, that's Singtan. Could they do that there?
I'm sorry, you said they live where? Sorry, you
They
cut
live
out for a
in
second.
Western Australia. Could they use this software there? That's what they were asking.
Oh man, I'm sorry. You just keep cutting out on me. So do they live
I'm
in another
sorry. I'm
country?
so sorry. Yeah, they're in Western Australia, and they wanted to know if this software would work there.
For sure, of course. Remember, online, the internet is a global marketplace, right? So whether you're working with the JV Hacking Blueprint and the software on a local basis or on a global basis, it's going to work either way. The important thing is to learn all the strategies that working with JV partnerships means, and how to do that, and how to maximize it, and how to optimize your time with people, how to get the most out of your partner so that they mail more for you. All of those things apply on a local basis, on a global basis. It doesn't matter. Definitely would love to invite you into the mastermind so you can learn all of that during the pilot program when it costs you nothing instead of the $1,000 a month that people are going to pay in 2020.
That is just so cool. And the thing about this, guys, is that if you haven't done a joint venture type thing, you're going to want to. When I first got involved in selling online about 10 years ago, I didn't know anything about this stuff. And when I did do joint ventures, I really didn't know what I need to do. It's like, do I need a landing page? Do I need an affiliate page? Do I have to write emails? What do I need to do? But with this software, all you do is go through the checkpoints. Is that right, Ridgely? And it tells you what to do next. Is that correct?
That is exactly correct. And it tells you the right sequence to do things in. It's just easy to get overloaded and overwhelmed, and that's why it's hard for people. And that's why in the past, it has been hard to make money in the JV game, because there's so much that has to be done. There's so much that has to be handled. But when you have the software doing it for you, it's like this ninja secret weapon that others don't know about. And I want you to be successful because I want to do joint ventures with you. I want other JV partners to play with, to make money with, to help each other succeed. So if you're ready, do yourself a favor, go to jvhacking.com/JR and grab one of those last spots as quickly as you can.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing software. I think the thing that amazes me most is that nobody has thought of this. I mean, it's like, because to put all this stuff together is a pain in the butt. Why is it, and how is it that you guys did this and nobody else has? Because I don't know of another software program out there like this.
No, there isn't one. Some people say to us, well, this is a little bit like a project management software. And I say, sure, you're right. But it's a project management software for joint venture marketers, for affiliate marketers. It is 100% customized for exactly what you need to be successful doing joint ventures, doing affiliate marketing. That's what makes this so different. It's a project management software for affiliate marketers, JV marketers, made by JV marketers, by affiliate marketers, so that you can become one of us, so that you can join the A-listers and be super successful. And then we're going to be doing business together for years. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it's funny because I have people hire me for coaching and they buy my courses and all this, but they do it for one reason. They want to learn e-commerce. They want to learn how to sell stuff online, and they can actually search my name and find out that, I sell stuff online. So that's who you want to learn from. So if you take a different piece of software, some other project management thing, it's not going to really fit. And on top of that, they get the big advantage of having access to you guys because you've actually done JV stuff. So you've got a software that's designed for JV stuff. Then you got people who did that, who designed the software. And then you've got access to those people. If you got a question, it's crazy. You get all that value. And I know when I do coaching, it's, I hate to say it on webinar, but it's like a couple $1,000s an hour. And this whole program is, I think it's like $797, and you get the mastermind, you get the coaching, you get the software, you get all of that. Is that correct? Bridgely, you blanked out there. Are you there?
Yeah, yeah, you cut out for me too. Yeah, that's exactly right. And we drink our Kool-Aid, man. We want to test this mastermind, and therefore the people who participate in the pilot program get to have the benefit of not spending $1,000 a month, which is what it's going to cost when we launch it officially in 2020. You get to be a part of that for free. So I can tell you, man, like you said, a single call on a mastermind like that is worth the cost of the software that you're getting for 11 years. I know that was a goofy I kind of crack up about that 11 years thing all the time, but we just thought it would be kind of fun to make it 11 years because that's how long we've been doing launches. And now you get all of that for $7.97. So please do grab one of those last spots if this makes sense to you. Oh, by the way, I just want to share something. If you do decide to do that, let me just remove all of the risk right now. If you grab the software right now, jvhacking.com/JR, and you at any point in the next 60 days can come back to us and say, well, you know what, it's just not working for me, we're going to send you your money back, 100%. We'll send you your money back with no hassle, no aggravation, no fluff, no nothing. You just say, hey, didn't work for me, whatever. We're that confident that you are going to really make a tremendous difference in all of your marketing efforts by using our software, that we're going to take the risk away from you 100%.
So they're getting access to the software, and you're going to guarantee their money back. They can go in there and look through everything and make sure it has that value, which I know it does because I know you, and I've looked at the software. But after they've looked at the software and used it, they can actually get their money back. So that would be like no risk, right?
That's correct. I want to take the risk away from you, so you have absolutely no risk and no reason. You have everything to gain by learning the JV game and zero risk.
You know what really gets me is a lot of times people will say, well, gee, I don't know if I want to do this. Maybe I can just figure it out on my own. And the thing is, maybe you can. Maybe you can. Maybe you'll figure it all out on your own. Maybe you're super organized. I'm not. But the thing is, how much time will that take you? And does your time have any value whatsoever? And the thing that they don't look at is the opportunity of their time. In other words, if they get a piece of software and it makes them money that they wouldn't have made for 3 months, 6 months, or a year, what are they missing out on? So the other thing is, when I first started out in e-commerce, I didn't know anything, and I spent a lot of time spinning my wheels and losing money trying different things. Man, if I had a software that like did the e-commerce for me, that would be awesome. I mean, that's just really cool. But if somebody went on their own and they decided they were going to try to figure out all this on their own, how long does it take to become a really good JV marketer and figure all this stuff out all by themselves?
Oh my gosh, bro. I mean, sorry, that question, that caught me off guard because it's such a ridiculous question. It's going to take you years to figure out, just like you said, a single psychological trigger that you learn from the JV hacking program is worth a fortune. And the faster you learn it, the faster you get to implement it. So the more time you wait to do this, it's costing you money. A single thing that you learn is going to make you money. A mistake that you make that you would not have made had you had the software is going to cost you a fortune and be incredibly aggravating. So that's kind of a funny question, but for sure it's years, and then you've got to put in the systems, or you can just get the software and have the software manage it for you. A lot easier in my mind.
Yeah, I often have people ask me about e-commerce, and they'll say, well, what are just the three things I need to know? What are the 4 things I need to know? And I just want to laugh, and I'm like, oh my God, there's like thousands of things you need to know. I can tell you're a newbie if you only think there's a few things. And it's kind of like JV marketing. And the thing I love about JV marketing is that you can, put your efforts and you can sell your product, and that's great. But what if you had 100 people doing that or 1,000 people doing it? If you go to something like ClickBank, you can literally find thousands and thousands and thousands of affiliates, and I know you didn't take the math that far, but I know a lot of these big launches, they'll have hundreds of people marketing that particular product. And guys, I mean, you could just crush it with something like this if you had this kind of software and you had access to something like this. Let me ask you another thing. If you could share one thing with our listeners, one nugget, one thing that you thought had super value, and I think everything you shared had super value, and I really appreciate you, giving them this information. But what would that one thing be? I'm doing exactly what I told you. I don't like what people do, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. What would that one thing be?
So to me, one thing is to really understand that a single JV relationship could change your entire business. You find that one partner that has a list that is a perfect fit for what you are doing, or you find the one partner who has a product that is the perfect fit for your list, and your business just changed completely based on one single relationship. So how valuable is it to understand how to find those people, how to motivate those people, how to touch those people, and how to communicate with those people if you knew with certainty, as I do, that one single relationship changes your entire business? Would it be worth learning all of that to make sure that you had a different business moving forward forever, that the business changed through just one single person? And if you get that, then multiply that times 10, multiply that times 20, or even times 100, and now put yourself into the future. Where are you? You're in a very, very different place. You now are on the beach drinking Mai Tais and living the lifestyle that you want, and that is no joke, and I'm not kidding.
That's awesome. The only thing I will remind you guys is he only has a few spots left. He's doing this special little talk with me, so he did have a few spots left, and once those are gone, I'm sure the pricing is going to go up. So, if you want to really move your business ahead, if you want to get into JV marketing, and I'm telling you, it's so funny, you don't know you want to get into JV marketing until you get into JV marketing. I know one of my first webinars I did with Justin Atlin from ClickBank University, and he became one of my first JVs, and we did hundreds of thousands of dollars in a matter of hours. So guys, it can really turn things around. If you think, oh, it's complicated, it's something I don't want to get into yet, I'm not at that stage yet, why not start at the top stage? You don't have to start at the bottom stage. I see a lot of people doing that. They go, well, I'll just start at the bottom and work my way up. What this does is it allows you to start at the top, right, and start making money right away, because we're all limited on time. And I'm going to end this in just a couple minutes. Matter of fact, I should put up a timer here. Let me put a timer on here because we don't want to go over. And I'm going to put a little timer on. Hang on one second. I'm going to set one. And I'm going to put it on. I better not put it on this. I'm going to put it on my phone. That's what I'm going to do. And guys, we're going to have about 5 minutes left to do this. And you don't want to miss out on it. A lot of times you're like, gee, should I do this? Should I do that? First off, you have my recommendation. Okay. So since you have my recommendation, you know who the guy is. When you go online and you just buy stuff, you don't know what it is. You don't know who it's from. You don't know if it works. And as you know, I don't do these things. I don't do a webinar where somebody, offers you a product. It's not something I do. And the reason I don't do it, I guess, because I sell my own products, but I don't do this. This is not one of my products. I would be the last person to come to help you set up software on how to organize yourself, because I'm not that organized. I mean, we've sold millions of dollars of products online, but it's not through my great organization. I can tell you that. So we're down to about 4.5 minutes now. So if you want to do this, I would say go ahead and do it. You can't lose. It's a no lose situation. And a lot of people say, well, I'm going to wait and I'm going to see what I'm going to do. Nothing's going to change until you do something. I mean, nothing is going to change. I'm serious about it. Some people will
for sure
say, well, I haven't done well the past 20 years. Let me try another 20, see what happens. The odds are,
right?
20 ain't going to be no different.
Yeah.
So, you don't.
I just think that's great.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just totally with you on that, man. It is crazy. The absolute definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, when in today's market, we're still a growing market. It is expanding. There are more people in the space every single day, and you could be partnering with a whole bunch of them if you just knew how and had a system that helped you to stay organized, knew how to communicate with those people, knew how to motivate those people, how to find those people, and all of that we do in jvhacking.com. And again, the mastermind, oh my gosh, I was in Jeff Walker's Platinum Mastermind group for 2.5 years, spending $1,000 a month, because I did so much business through that. It was so worth it to me. It was the cheapest money ever. And in this case, the mastermind for 6 months is free. because you get to be a part of the pilot. And by the way, I'm going to ask you, how do we tweak this? How do we make it even better? How do we make it serve your needs? You get to be a part of shaping and crafting something if you grab one of those final spots. So again, I really encourage you, go to jvhacking.com/JR, register yourself, pick up a copy of JV Hacking, and it'll be my pleasure to welcome you to our very first pilot call, which is this coming Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Guys, we're
down.
Man,
it's going to be awesome.
We're down to about 2.5 minutes, but I was on a flight the other day, and I was with a lady, and she does exercise stuff, and she wanted to sell her programs online, and I said, "Why don't you do it?" And she says, "Because I think I'll get made fun of." And it's not the strangers. I just worry about my family and friends. If I try something, if I do something, they may make fun of me. And I'm here to tell you, they're gonna make fun of you. If you buy this, they're gonna make fun of you. And you know why? Because they don't know any better. They don't know that this stuff works. They don't get it. So you got to quit worrying about what everybody thinks. We're down to 2 minutes. And when I started my business, listen, I couldn't type. And I've never sold anything online before. And I said, I'm going to go sell stuff online. And they were like, "Are you serious? You're 50 years old. You can't type. You're going to sell stuff online?" Well, that was millions of dollars ago. And I now have a lot of those people, sending me messages going, "How'd you do this? Well, how'd you do this?" So I'm telling you, yeah, you're going to get made fun of. So what? You're going to worry about what everybody thinks. You're down to about 1.5 minutes now. If you're going to worry about what everybody thinks, guess what? You're going to be living your life for everybody else. And ain't nobody going to come up and pay your mortgage or pay your rent, or take care of you when you're sick. All they're going to do is make fun of you because they don't want you to succeed. If you succeed and they don't,
that's right.
Them, So,
yeah.
Guys, you're down to right at 1 minute right now. So if you want to do this, you better jump in there right now. Go to jvhacking.com/JR. And you got 1 minute there originally if you want to go ahead and close this out, and then they're going to miss their opportunity.
Yeah, you know what? I just want to say one thing. I love that. I love the people that go ask their broke uncle about how to make money. Really? Come on, people. The way you make money, the way you really do well in life is by surrounding yourself with people who are already where you want to be, who are already doing what you want to be doing. And the JV Hacking Mastermind is exactly those kind of people. So I really encourage you, go to jvhacking.com/JR, grab one of those last spots, take advantage of the pilot program free offer to participate in the JV Hacking Mastermind for the next 6 months. We're going to have an absolute blast together. And our first call is Monday, this coming Monday. If you register, you'll get the official notices. You'll get the links to join me on that call. It's going to be super awesome. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, but I want to see you on Monday. So take that action now. Hop on this, grab the offer, and I'll see you in the mastermind. And JR, thanks so much for letting me share some knowledge with people so we can find some more great partners so that we can all make some more money together.
Yeah, the timer just went off originally, and I'll make sure that people that are going over there right now can get in. Can you leave that page open for like 5 minutes so they can get their information in? Because I know it takes a couple minutes to enter all that stuff in.
Yep. We'll leave it open. I will leave it there, and then we will join together on Monday, the 18th at 3 p.m. Eastern.
All right, man. Thank you so much for your time, Ridgely. And guys, go jump on it. He's going to leave it open for a few minutes, and I appreciate you being here, every single one of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell right there so you can be notified every time I do a new video. Also, click on one of those videos there. Keep watching on my channel.